Hello and welcome to Nintendo News Report for the week of April 23rd, 2016. I'm Donald Terriel, news editor, Nintendo World Report, and as you can see as on the bottom of the screen, we are now on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/NWR and you might actually be able to affect the future of this show. And as well, we are looking, as several of our patrons have already requested, we are looking into an audio version of the show. It won't be this week, but we'll probably have something up down the road. I'll be in contact with Danny to see how he turns a video into audio anyway. And I'm here tonight with Adam Abu Nasser, from, you might know from NWR Connectivity.
Good morning, everyone.
It's not that early for you, Adam. Come on.
It's 6:30 in the afternoon. That's very early for me.
and also joined this evening by our other recent acquisition, Matt West. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey. Yeah, hey everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and by the way, Matt, have you gotten word about your internet at home being up or not?
I have no idea what's going on with that. I don't know if I'm really even supposed to be here, but I'm in an undisclosed location on a college campus. That I had a key to the door, so I got in so that no one would disturb me in here. So.
Thank you so much for risking your academic career on appearing on the show here.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a whole lot of news this week. A lot of it though was centered around PAX East, which happened in Boston this past weekend. We had a banging panel with Who Wants to Be a Nintendo Heir, and apparently somebody broke my record of getting to the 125,000 coin level.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. But before the show, Nintendo sent out a press release with their plans for the show. You know, Bravely Second panel. We're going to have Tokyo Mirage sessions there. And buried in that email was the announcement of the release date for the 2016 Game of the Year, Metroid Prime Federation Force. It will be coming out August 19th in North America and September 2nd in Europe. So originally this was scheduled for late spring.
It was actually pretty well buried in that email, actually.
Yeah, it's like I had to read it like 3 times because they've mentioned something else we're going to talk about later, but then they also mentioned, oh, by the way, Metroid's coming out this day. It's like, wait, really? Wait, oh, there it is. So, yeah. So Metroid coming out in August, slightly delayed. Impressions that I've seen out of PAX East have been generally positive, but where do you guys stand on this game?
I think it looks like a blast. I wish I had like friends to play it with. I don't know, like I never played Triforce Heroes just because I couldn't like convince anyone to play it with me. Just because it got bad buzz, which kind of killed like a multiplayer game. I like the Metroid Prime series, kind of. When I was like a small child, someone told me that you can't get the true ending until you scan everything. And scanning everything was super awful and stupid and boring. But this looks like it doesn't have scanning, so I like to play it. I hope that there's a way I can play it by myself in my room with like the lights off. Oh no, you can't play New 3DS with the lights off because the eye tracking doesn't work. So I'll have to have the lights on.
Yeah, we'll have to check with our Boston crew to see what is happening with that, because they have talked about there is going to be a significant single player mode, but whether that's just doing the same squad missions with bots or however they could do it, we still don't know. And Matt, you were saying something as well?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I really like multiplayer games, especially ones that are like cooperative like this. Like I really dug Triforce Heroes. I know Adam said it got some negative buzz, and it did. But I felt like the negative buzz was mostly, for me, it was the single-player mode. I thought that the single-player mode was kind of a headache and really slow, and it didn't really even feel like Zelda to me. But the multiplayer mode, I loved it, especially locally. It was more fun locally, which Metroid Prime probably will be as well. But, I mean, Adam, if you need somebody to play with, man, and there's good enough online multiplayer on this, I'll play. I bet we can get other people to play, too. Also, I really like that your reason for only kind of liking Metroid Prime was because you had to scan everything to get a completely optional ending.
It just crushed me as a child because I was having fun. It was my first teen-rated game, and then this kid at school told me like, "Oh, it's you can only beat it if you don't have any fun with it." And I gave up. But I bought all three of them, and I just kept giving up.
Did you end up buying the trilogy when it came out on Wii U, or did you get the Wii?
Absolutely not. I already bought and didn't beat all three of them. I'm not going to rebuy them all.
At least you bought it for you didn't buy it because I mean I bought it for my roommate at the time and then we got thrown out of our apartment a month later. So yeah, this game Metroid Prime games and I have a very bad history, especially the trilogy one, but I bought it anyway. So I'm definitely want to get into this. I'm hoping that there is significant voice chat in this game because sure, hooking up Wii U chat or Skype is nice for things like Monster Hunter, but I really think they need to put some sort of voice chat into this game so that just to make that easier. Because I don't think like spamming commands like you do in Triforce Heroes is going to cut it.
No, and it really doesn't make sense if they don't put some form of voice chat in this because Metroid Prime Hunters on DS had voice chat, and that was like 10 years ago. So there's no reason why this one shouldn't.
No, there will not be voice chat. Everyone seems to forget that we live in a post-swap note world. There will not be voice chat.
I hope you're wrong, but I know you're probably not.
Yeah, Adam's being the realist in the room here because yeah, like he said, this is a post swap node era, and aside from like the limited use in Mario Kart or Smash Brothers, I don't think we've had significant voice chat in a Nintendo published game since the whole thing went down at the end of 2013.
Pokemon has voice chat with people on your friends list, I think.
Yeah, but
Even if it was just on your friends list, that would still be a huge step forward from the complete lack of it in games like Splatoon and Triforce Heroes. So.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Like we said, Metroid Prime Federation Force comes out August 19th, 4 days after my birthday, and I'm
You
hoping.
forgot, Donald, you forgot its title. You did not say the whole title.
2016 Game of the
2016
Year,
Game of the Year.
Metroid Prime Federation Force. I gotta remember that. And somebody
Okay.
thought I was being sarcastic in the news story. I'm not sarcastic in news stories. Outside the review deck, anyway. All right, but there's been a few things that came out this week. One of probably the biggest story of the week, honestly, was the reviews finally hitting for Star Fox Zero ahead of that game coming out on Friday. I believe two of us have the game. Mine's still in transit, and unfortunately, Matt, I don't think you've had a chance to play it yet.
I have not, no.
Yeah. So, Adam, can we get a report from the Lilat system? How are things going over there?
Well, I only played a couple levels. Actually, I walked into the store to buy it, and I asked for Star Fox Guard, and I think I said Star Fox Guard like 3 or 4 times, and I didn't say Star Fox Zero the entire time. So I think you can guess what sold me on this package. But I actually did start with Star Fox Zero. My friend said like, "Oh, it's fun. We should play online together." So I opened it, turned it on, and I was playing it, and I couldn't figure out how to play online. And then we realized that there's no online. Um, but it's fun. I am playing with the motion controls. I like to stick with the traditional controls of a game for as long as I can handle them. But I don't know if I can handle these controls. I told my friend that it's like being in one of the Star Wars prequels, Sky Battles, but it's actually you, and you don't know how to fly like the Star Wars plane, so you're just out in space, like hitting buttons, and everything's exploding, and there's things everywhere. Like there's a lot of times you have to move the gamepad to the side to see like what's going on, and I had a lot of trouble with it. I sit in this chair, and my screen is right there, and the gamepad is right here, and I have trouble looking between the two of them. Um, it makes me really sad because when they came out with the Wii U, they were trying to sell you on this second screen experience and how it can add to a game. And I was always like a believer in that. Like, yeah, come on, Nintendo. I know one day you'll prove that that's a real thing. And I think that this game, this is when I give up on the dream. I, I, I don't know. I'm gonna play it. I've never played a platinum game that I liked in the first like 40 hours. So someday maybe I'll be like, oh, this is the only way to control a game. But today's not that day.
So you're going to play this game to 100% completion 4 times before you finally click with it.
It's platinum. Like, yes, Wonderful 101 is the best game ever, but not until like you've beaten it a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love Platinum. Bayonetta 2 was my game of the year a couple years ago. I'm really interested to see how the no gyro until you're about to fire thing is going to work, because that seems to be a decent balance between full out motion controls and the traditional controls that a vocal portion of the internet would like. But yeah, have you done any Star Fox Guard, since that seemed to be the thing you were most looking forward to?
I did not. I actually wasn't supposed to buy this game. This weekend was my sister's wedding, and I had like a lot of stuff going on. Um, and I went to buy her a present, and instead I ended up buying Star Fox. So I got to play a little bit before going to like the dinner, and then the sleepover, and then the wedding, and then the other sleepover. Like so, I've been trapped at like other people's houses all weekend. But I am excited to break into that one. I've told myself since I'm so excited for that one, I can't do it until after school is over because I feel like I might get really into it, and school's almost over.
Yeah. So, and Matt, you're looking forward to. Are you more interested in Guard, or are you more focused on Zero once you dig into it?
Um, I don't know. I mean, Guard looks like a lot of fun to me, and as somebody that isn't really big on Star Fox, like I've never thought that Star Fox 64 was like the greatest, shooter of all time, like a lot of its fans do. I mean, I thought it was an okay game. I played it as a kid. I liked it, but I didn't love it. For me, it was like a rent, not buy kind of thing when I was a kid. Um, and so, like Star Fox not being super appealing to me had me wondering for a really long time whether I was even going to get this game or not. But now, because of the reaction to the controls and because of a lot of reviews that I read from people that I trust, like Neil's review, I mean, he gave it a good score. He gave it an 8, I think. He had a lot of positive things to say about it. And then there were other people that didn't even finish their reviews because they didn't like it at all. So I feel like it's something that I need to play to form an opinion for myself. So I'm looking forward to it. Bad control schemes, or what some people consider bad control schemes, never really bother me. Like I love Kid Icarus Uprising. I love the motion controls in Splatoon. To me, my my oldest son has from time to time turned off the motion controls in Splatoon by just messing around with it when I wasn't there, and I'll go and play a match without the controls, and I think it's unplayable. So motion controls, weird setups don't bother me. So I don't think it's going to be that is the issue. I think if I don't like it, I think it's just going to be because it's a Star Fox game. As much as I hate saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's too bad that we don't have a lot of good rental options in this day and age, because this seems like something that I probably would have rented myself. You're definitely right on that. Mine will be here probably Monday or Tuesday of next week, so I probably have impressions next time we're on Nintendo News Report. But yeah, that's pretty much where I am with it at this point. I'm just waiting for it to show up. But I didn't pay full price for it, so I can't complain too much. Yeah, the other big releases of the week were the demo came out for the new Game Freak game, Pocket Card Jockey. I I am done with that demo because you can basically take one horse up through their 3-year-old racing season, and I get the feeling this is a game I'm going to like, but I'm going to be hating it a lot because it is very dependent on a random number generator to really get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not really playing solitaire like the one you would see on a typical computer. You're
Yeah.
basically it's here's a card, you have to find one above or below it, and you have to match as many of those as you can before you draw from your deck. You have a limited deck depending on how many cards are in there. And if you get on a stone cold run where you have to go 8 or 9 cards before you can match anything, it's going to wreck you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very cute game. I mean, Game Freak does a really good job with their art style. Uh, kind of concerned that the female character that I played in the demo, her objective was to get married and have a kid, but I can deal with that.
Yeah.
So
No, I played it too. I thought it was fun. But yeah, you're definitely right. Like when you get just a string of where you just have to keep drawing and drawing and drawing, it ruins it. So, um, but yeah, it's a funny game. It's really funny.
yeah, and I'm guessing Adam, you haven't had a time to duck into that.
No, but I have been playing Tembo a lot, which is Game Freak's last game, and I I like Game Freak, so I'll probably check this game out.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the record, folks, if you have a PS4, Tembo is on the flash sale this weekend. I think it's 60% off, and $6 seems like a really good price to get in on that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other thing I was playing in lieu of Star Fox, um, I was given a code for Langrisser Reincarnation Tensei, the 3DS RPG localized by Axis. It is a very bad sign that when I got the code and set up the review, I get a message from Don Koopman on Twitter saying, "Good luck and God bless," because well, Don was reviewing it for another outlet, but he basically warned me that this would be a very bad game, and once the review goes up, because it's in the editing bay now, it will be the lowest review we've given a game in at least a year and a half.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That good, huh?
that yeah. 20 it is 20 hours, and it was like I don't even want to play video games out anymore after I finished the review and sent it off. It's like just everything about that game is designed to drive you completely batty. And when we're 2 months removed from two other very good strategy RPGs, like why bring this out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so generally save your money for Zero Time Dilemma if you must buy an Axis game on 3DS this year. Don't even look at this. But in happier RPG news, Nintendo, in that email that announced Metroid Prime and their PAX East plans, they also announced that there's going to be limited editions for Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, both in Europe, Australia, and North America, basically coming with a soundtrack sampler, some stickers, and codes for downloadable content for the game, similar to the one that came out in Japan. And at least in North America, it's going to be $80 US, and I believe it's already up at GameStop, and Amazon has the page up, but they just haven't flipped it live as of recording time here. Are either of you guys going to be in for this game?
Maybe, maybe. A younger me would have killed to play a game like this. I played like the Persona games and like Shin Megami Tensei, Strange Journey. I think was the DS one. Like, just I was super into like any JRPG I could find. I would play it, even if they were awful. Like, get 50 hours in before be like, this is not the best Tales game. I'm going to quit. But then I bought Shin Megami Tensei 4 when it came out, and I think I played it for like 2 hours. And I bought it the day it came out. It's still on my list of games that I'm playing. Um, I don't know if I can do it anymore. These really long Atlas games with the kind of like dark, edgy story. Like I don't know. This game looks beautiful, and I really want it. I'll probably buy it, and I'll probably never play it.
Yeah, I can.
Uh, I'm definitely up for it. I'm actually really excited. Like I really like Atlas. They make good RPGs. Like Adam, I played a lot of Persona 3 and a lot of Persona 4. Those are two of my favorite PlayStation 2 games. And then this looks like it's going to be a Shin Megami Tensei game with a little bit of Fire Emblem sprinkled in there for flavor. I like both of those things, so yeah, I'm definitely in for it. It looks like it's I don't know, it looks very Japanese, which skews to my taste. I understand that that's not for everybody, but yeah, it looks like something that's definitely for me.
One thing that really worries me is this game did not sell well in Japan, did it?
It didn't do well,
No,
but
it didn't.
there's not really an there before this game came out. The only Wii U RPG that really had there was Xenoblade. So I'm not sure how much of that audience was actually available for them to sell to. So I think they might have been happy with the sales there. But I'm pretty sure that North America is going to outsell Japan on day one.
Doesn't Persona 5 come out this summer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said summer 2016, but we won't find that out what the official date for that is until the first week of May.
I don't know. I don't think that there's room for both of those games. Like, I don't think that this is the start of a franchise. But it looks really cool and really pretty.
Yeah, and I know a friend of the show, Seren, is like saying this is like a 10 out of 10 game. So that that is putting me into real hype train. And of course, I'm sort of the Atlas person around here, so I I'm looking forward to that. And I pre-ordered this thing 3 years ago, basically sight unseen, because we knew it existed from that January 2013 Direct. So it'll be nice to finally have that thing taken care of and get that out of my shopping list.
How much how much like the final version of the game did you think that it was going to be back in January of 2013?
I honestly expected something closer to what a Devil Survivor game would be, or what I expected, like a Fire Emblem game,
Yeah,
a Japanese ass RPG.
yeah. No, this is very, very Japanese. But didn't it win some kind of Game of the Year award from some magazine in Japan? I think
Yeah,
Dengeki or something like that.
yeah. I can't recall offhand if it was a reader vote or if it was actually the editors of the magazine. Maybe the chat room will know for sure here. But yeah, it did win like a Dengeki Game of the Year award last year. So the, between
Yeah.
that and I mean, I Persona 4 is honestly one of my favorite games of all time now, and I only played that in the last couple of
Mhm.
years. And I and after Langrisser, I really need a good RPG, so I'm hoping this fills the bill. I just hope I have enough. I just hope I have enough time to finish it. So, so that'll be out June 24th for those who forgot, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for the news that we know of the week. But there's something coming up next week that might be worth discussing before we sign off here. Nintendo is going to have their financial results come out Wednesday morning, our time, Wednesday after the close of business in Japan, and then they're probably going to be having Q&A, their traditional Q&A session the following morning in Japan. And allegedly there's some things that are supposed to come down the pipe this week. So do you think we're going to start actually finding out what the NX actually is when Nintendo does their financials?
No, I think they're gonna say the exact right thing that tells us what it is, but also tells us nothing about it. It says the exciting new NX platform launches this fiscal year, and it's gonna sell 20 million units. But I don't know. I don't trust Nintendo because they're really bad at sales estimates and release dates, so they'll probably both be wrong.
I don't know. They seem to be human pretty close to their estimates for both systems this year, but they didn't have to. At least they didn't have to revise them down big time like they did the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't think we get if we get anything. I don't think it's going to be anything major. Like I don't think they're going to come out and say this is the launch lineup. This is. I don't even think they're going to tell us the name of the system. I think they're still going to refer to it as NX. We're not going to get any details on the controller. I think they might say, this is about how much we think it's going to sell. These are our projections this year. Look forward to hearing more about the NX at E3. Because I don't think an investors meeting is the place to get people excited for NX. I think we'll hear more about how Mitomo is doing than we will about what NX is going to be.
Yeah. Do you think we get like the announcement of Game 2 from this mobile strategy on Wednesday more likely than we get anything about the NX?
Yeah, I think that's way more likely. Because again, the investors are the ones that are really pushing the mobile thing, I think, and it's people like us that want to hear about the NX. The investors are curious, sure, about NX and what it's going to be, but I mean, I feel like the shareholding stuff, like every time Nintendo announces anything to do with actual video games, that they go down. And anytime Nintendo says something about cell phones, they shoot straight up. So.
Well, one thing I've learned in the last year of covering Nintendo or so is that basically investors are idiots.
Yeah.
There's the odds of hitting it big in the cell phone industry are extremely slim given the amount of stuff that goes up on these app stores on a daily basis, and Steam is rapidly approaching that point. So I think what they're looking at is they just want something that'll give them a steady stream of revenue, or a decent stream of revenue. If the projections we've heard about Mitomo are anywhere close to accurate, I think they'd be happy with that. Stockholders not so much, but who cares? But I think we might get an idea of what the game is for the mobile thing, but but it's probably not going to come out till the end of June anyway, or maybe they drop it at E3. But I think we will get at least an idea of, once and for all, is this thing a console, is this thing a handheld, or what sort of form factor are we looking at?
Mm-hmm. One thing that I think could be really cool, and you guys remember, like, with Fallout 4 last year when they released, what was that app that they released for Fallout 4 a couple months before the actual game came out?
Fallout Shelter?
Yeah, Fallout Shelter. Like, what if they did something that, like, tied into Zelda for Wii U and probably also Zelda for NX? What if they did something, like, that tied into that, like, a month or so before E3, and then at E3 they showed more about Zelda NX, and they talked about how the app would be integrated into the game. Not in like I don't want anything like I don't want like a major thing, but like what if it could just give you some rupees or like an exclusive item that's not necessary but is nice to have, something like that to get people interested, not just in like the app, because the Zelda app would be pretty cool, but also in Zelda for Wii U and the NX for people that just have the phone.
Yeah, and we've seen apps like that for things. I think there was Knack's Quest for the PS4 launch game Knack that did well, and I mean you could even take that back to the Fable card game that they put out for Fable 2 on 360, I think in 2008. Yeah. So there's a good history of those, and that doesn't seem like a bad idea because it would tie it into what they were saying about these apps being promotion for Nintendo products. Well, here's something that ties directly into a Nintendo product this fall.
And it would give Zelda fans something, like anything to just tide them over for this game. There's still part of me that can't believe it's coming out this year. Like, I won't believe it until it is actually in my hands. So.
One thing I think we could see is I could see them giving us like a list of big developers that have development kits. Because that would be an easy way to not say what the system is, but get people excited about the prospect of the system. Like, oh, we have all these big names working on the system, so there will be content when it launches. You don't have to worry about like when the Wii U and the 3DS launched without content. It'd be something without giving us anything.
Now, what is? Do you think they would focus more on like Japanese developers, or would they focus maybe on the big Western ones? Because, like you said, this is probably going to determine which way NX is going to end up going.
I don't know who has development kits. I mean, you don't. None of us
Yeah,
do.
I mean, I would assume at this point that the big guns have dev kits like EA, Ubisoft, probably maybe Square Enix. I'm hoping Square Enix. Um, and then other people who have been big partners in the past, like Sega, people that have supported Nintendo even with the Wii U. Yeah, so I think that those people have dev kits. I don't know about anybody other than the big name people, but yeah, if they came out and were like, hey, has dev kits and they're making games for this thing, Square Enix has dev kits and they're making games for this thing, I think that'd go a long way because it would show, at least initially, NX is going to have some third-party support in a major way. So.
Yeah, I think the two big harbingers that I'm looking for on this that'll sort of set the scene for what the launch lineup's going to look like are Namco and EA, because Namco, there was the rumor last year, and it fired up again recently that they're working on a Smash Brothers port for NX. I have to think that if Namco has dev kits, they're doing more with that than porting Smash Brothers. Like the new Tales game, Tales of Berseria, that got pushed to 2017. I could easily say Namco bringing that to NX as well. And there was the whole discussion a few months ago about what EA is doing, whether they're on board, and EA jumping out of the Wii U basically before it launched. That did innumerable damage to the system, basically cut it off at the knees in the West. So if EA is back on board and they're bringing things like FIFA and Madden, and more importantly, Nintendo has a commitment from EA that they're going to keep going with these games, then that means the NX is going to have some of the things that EA wants, which is like sports and entertainment apps to get those sports markets going. And they're also going to they have the commitment that yes, EA is going to actually going to develop things for this platform beyond a few tossed off ports and the really good Need for Speed game.
Yeah.
I think that Lost Reavers is definitely going to be ported over there. I mean, it doesn't have good impressions so far, but it's like an MMO thing coming out like at the end of the Wii U's lifespan. So I feel like that's going to get ported to NX, and no one's going to care. But I think it probably will.
I mean, I don't know if anybody really cares about it right now.
Nope, no one does. But they spent money on it.
You're hearing no buzz on it.
It's a working game made by professionals. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Again, the results will be out Wednesday. I'm probably going to come home on Tuesday night and just fall asleep so I can wake up at 0400 or something to get the results as we have them, and then the Q&A that Wednesday night will be one. That'll be one for the ages, I think. And somebody in the chat room asked if they're going to untie NNIDs from the consoles. I think it's ADNF. I think at this point they've talked about the portability of the Nintendo account. So I think once we get to NX, where it'll be a lot easier to maintain that network account thing on multiple devices. So you'll be able to easily do transfers like you do now with an Xbox or a PlayStation. At least I hope so.
I don't want to get my hopes up for major NX news. I don't know. Like I feel like it was only a few months ago where we got our hopes up for something else at some kind of investors thing, and nothing ended up really happening. So I'm not getting my hopes up too much for NX news, but if we hear something about third-party support for it, that'd be great, even if it's not really any details on games or features. But yeah, I'd like to hear some of. I feel like they've got to at least talk about like the plan a little bit, though. You know what I mean? Like they're not just going to be able to go into this investors meeting and be like, yeah, there's also this thing called the NX. We're hoping to like 15 million of them. The end. Like they're gonna have some questions about that. Like, so
Hey, everyone always laughs at me when I say this, but I'm serious. The NX is a software update. I don't know if it's coming to the 3DS, but it's probably going to come to the Wii U, and it's a platform. The NX platform is what they always call it, and it'll come to their next handheld that's coming out this Christmas, and their console that is coming out next Christmas, and it's just going to keep track of what you've bought and your saves and your Mitomo score, and it's going to have a stupid, stupid name like Nintendo Experience. Um, and that's honestly what I think it is. They're secretly developing consoles while telling everyone about this software update called the NX that is going to disappoint us all at E3.
The new Nintendo Experience, basically.
The Nintendo Experience NX, like I can't think of anything stupider that it could stand for, which makes it perfect. Like I could see an Asian person, like a Japanese Nintendo executive, being like, "Oh, Nintendo Experience! Like let's do it. Let's run the whole company around the Nintendo Experience." That's why you can have the Nintendo Experience at Disney World or whatever, Universal, I guess now. Um, and then so we're gonna have like 3 or 4 Nintendo accounts. There's Nintendo account, my Nintendo account, Mitomo account, Nintendo Network account, NX account. Um, let's guess that's 5. I have a Pokemon account. I don't know if that counts, but they really like accounts now. So we're gonna see how many services we can get going.
Once again, Adam is the realist.
I mean, even if it is a software update or whatever, they're still coming out with a new console this year. Like,
Yeah, but it's not the NX.
even if it's not the NX, we are getting a new console this year. Like that is happening.
New hardware running on the NX platform.
Yes. Okay.
And the sad thing is, this is the same company that brought us the Wii U, so I could easily see that. All right, so on
Should
that
we do
down,
name predictions?
uh, predict a name. I can predict what it
Like,
won't be. It will not have Wii or DS in the title if it's portable.
no, no, it won't. It'll be something new. But I think they've made it pretty clear they want to move away from the Wii name. So
Yeah. And Adam, you're all in on Nintendo Experience.
I think that's the name of the software, like the OS. I could see them calling it the Nintendo Entertainment System if they're going to double down on apps like sport apps and talk up their Netflix game or something. I could see Nintendo Entertainment System being their name because they always talk about how much they like Apple products and the way that they work, where they have the iPad and the iPhone, but every year they come out with a new one that's a little nicer. And then they said they wanted to marry their handheld and their consoles. So that would all be the NX platform, but they'd be able to come out with new hardware all the time. So it could be like the NES 2016 and the NES 2017. And then I don't know what they'd call the handheld, but that's what I think they're going to name the console.
All right, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Just trying to confuse us even more.
Yeah. All right, so that is going to do it for this week. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Again, if you liked what you saw on this show, and really how could you could pop over to patreon.com/NWR, toss a few shekels our way, and help possibly shape the future of this show, as well as some of our other things we do at Nintendo World Report. And guys, where can we find you on Twitter, for instance?
I'm at AdventureBuddy01. A is the only vowel in adventure.
and I'm at BizCutHammer. It's BIZCUT, and then hammer is spelled normally. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm at Donald Mick, and I've been filling in as of late as the editor on NWR Connectivity, which you can find at Connectivity NWR, or it's linked on our website as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you later this week, probably with some overblown reactions to the financial results. Bye.